Welcome to another edition of Dialing Up Star Trek with Dave. I am your host, Dave, and this channel is really in its infancy, and so I'm always tweaking it. I'm always hoping it will grow. I've changed it up, my ideas for it a couple times, and I've decided I'm going to change it one more time. And I've said in other videos that the Pensky files do indeed inspire me because I'm a Star Trek fan. And I was looking for something to listen to at work at my desk while I was working, and I came across them, and it kind of reignited my enjoyment of Star Trek and made me watch it yet again. But they also have inspired me, I've realized, in another way, because they really do infuriate me at times. Maybe that's a little, maybe the word infuriate is kind of thought-provoking, or provokes maybe too strong of a feeling, but they do just annoy me a lot of times. I question sometimes, like, do you really like Star Trek? Because I don't think that they should just love up on every episode. But there are a lot of good episodes of Star Trek that they completely destroy. And it bothers me. I would say this. I don't agree with, maybe not a lot, but a good amount of their critiquing. They will critique episodes where they will say things like, oh, it's sexual, and it's like, it's not even sexual. Like, you're just, like, it comes across as, like, you're inserting that stuff into it when it's not there. Like, just like a character on a show will say, like, hey, would you like a drink? And they're like, oh, yeah. He's like, hey, would you like a drink? And would you like to get it on later? And it's like, no, that's not what he's saying. You are just inserting that. It's weird. It's really weird that they do that they're all, like, there's a lot of episodes that bothers me when they're like, oh, yeah, this is pseudo-sexual. I'm like, no, it's not. You're just making it that. I mean, there's ones that are clear in which that is what is going on. Where, like, for example, I'm finishing The Next Generation, listening to all of their critiques on those episodes. There's episodes with Jonathan Frakes, Riker, in which he's clearly getting it on with I guess you could say, right, an alien female. Yes, okay, you can insert the sexual innuendos, but there's so many times that they do insert them that just doesn't make sense, and it's kind of not classy. It's the humor is almost like it's low, you're reaching low. And that bothers me. And then it also bothers me just some of their critiques make no sense. There's an episode that is bad of, I'm going to talk about TNG a lot because I was listening to that, where Crusher has a crush on a female alien, and she ends up looking completely different, and he ends up finding out, wow, you look nothing like I thought you looked, and he's upset about that. And they're like, oh, this doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense why he would be upset. I don't understand that. I'm thinking, do these guys not understand emotion? Or maybe they're more like Data, and that's why Data's great, but that's why they get it, because their emotional response does not make any sense. It's like, have you never watched the show Catfishing? Like, that's the whole point of Catfish. I've talked to you on the internet, right? I mean, I get it that they've met, but I've talked to you. Maybe I've seen in the show Catfish, sometimes the people have seen videos or whatever, but now you're a completely different person, so yeah, I'm freaked out. It just doesn't make sense how they don't get that stuff. There's an episode I'm listening to now, which I haven't finished listening to, in all fairness, called Gambit, which is a great TNG episode, and they're completely destroying it with criticism that makes no sense. They're like, oh man, the scene in which Troy is crying just doesn't make any sense. Her freaking captain died, her friend, and they're like, I don't understand why she's crying. I could do without that. And it's like, it's really like, I won't say the word stupid, but it just doesn't make any sense. Like, do you not understand human condition? Apparently, this is not how you would react. So, okay, I guess. Like, I better not see you at a funeral crying. You know, this is a little over the top, Clay. You know, I don't think you should be acting this way. It drives me up the wall. I was trying to think of something else. There's lots of scenes where they have no idea what they're talking about. They don't remember what happened in the show. They don't remember what happened just even a couple episodes before. It just really bothers me. I could go on and on. I've mentioned it before. I also have been listening to them do Star Trek Enterprise, which I've been doing. There's a scene in an episode where they're like, "Whoa, man, I wish they would have told us how the Xindi planet died and was destroyed." They never mention that, do they? No, I don't think they mention that. Wouldn't it be cool if it was the Guardians, if it was the Spear Builders who did it? They do mention it. They say it earlier on in another episode that basically they had a like Civil War type thing. Maybe they don't say Civil War, but they were fighting amongst each other and they destroyed their own planet. Apparently, you don't pay attention to the episodes you're watching. There's even an episode where Wes has to move and Clay takes over and they watch the wrong episode, or the person that is on watches the wrong episode, which is they make the best of it. It's okay, mistakes are made, but sometimes I'm just like, I can't. What are you guys talking about? In the episode Gambit, they're like, oh, I think Patrick Stewart is just over the top, not a good actor. Are you insane? This is Patrick Stewart we're talking about. I can't. And the hilarious thing is that Clay's favorite episode of TOS, I will admit I don't remember the name of it, but it's one of the very first few episodes of TOS where they come across a Romulan ship for the first time, and they see what a Romulan looks on the bridge, and he looks like Spock, and they have that submarine type battle through the whole episode, and they have a saboteur on board and all that stuff. That episode, I do enjoy it, but for all of the critiques that they make about the different shows and different episodes, that episode should be pretty bad. It should not be a great episode, so it just calls into question their critiquing if you can say, oh, that's one of my favorite episodes of Star Trek, when it is such a flawed episode. So it really bothers me. So this show is going to change, and this show is going to be a response by me on how I feel, a response to their critique. And there are times that I agree. I should preface this whole video, I should have done that. There are times that I agree with them. It's not like I always disagree, but there are episodes where I almost completely agree with them, but there are so many episodes where I'm like, what are you talking about? I have been doing in my episodes rewrites of the episodes, saying what I would change and what I would keep. I probably will continue that to some degree, but it's going to be more of a response to the Pensky Files, because I disagree with them a lot. And so these videos I'm going to continue going through Star Trek Enterprise. I'm going to reference the Pensky Files. I'm going to be going through Star Trek Enterprise, so I'll be doing the next episode is the one where Trip gets pregnant, but I will be doing a response to the Pensky Files and basically where I agree with them and where I completely disagree with them, and what I would say to them if I was ever in a podcast with them to try to convince them the error of their ways. And I don't know if they'll ever listen, but thank you guys again, because you made me enjoy Star Trek again, but I just don't know what you're talking about a lot of times. And I sometimes question, do you really like Star Trek? I think that I don't know if anybody else, any other viewer, because I'm a fan and I'm a viewer, questions that. I really wonder sometimes, do these guys actually like Star Trek? So thank you. I hope you listen. I hope you comment. Make sure you listen to the Pensky Files before you listen to my episode, so you know what's going on. And have a great day, and look for the next one coming up soon. The next Dialing Up Star Trek with Dave. Thank you, and bye.